Human reproductive system. It is the system of organs within the human body which works together for the purpose of reproduction. It is the reason why human species have survived billions of years ago. Male reproductive system. Responsible for the male sex hormone, responsible for the transfer of a sperm cell to the female reproductive organ, responsible for the sperm cell production. Female reproductive system, responsible for female sex hormone, responsible for the reception of egg cell to the sperm cell from male, responsible for the nourishment and the development of a new individual, responsible for the production of the egg cell or the ovula.
The male and female reproductive systems are designed to create life.
The male genital system begins with the two testes, where sperm are produced.
The left testis is lower than the right testis. It is not side by side or symmetrical, to avoid hotness and thereby impair sperm production. The more surface area of the scrotum exposed to air, the cooler the testis is. In short, hanging at a slightly different height prevents them from crushing and overheating each other. Deep inside the testes, tunica albuginea covers the chambers of the seminiferous tubules, which divided by the sesta. Different chambers of the seminiferous tubule is connected to a terminal tubule called the reticulate teeth, while beneath the epididymis lays the efferent tubules, which connect the reticulate teeth to the epididymis, then goes to the ductus deferens for the delivery of the sperm cell for ejaculation.
The epididymis is a system of convoluted small tubes leading from each testis and emptying into the vas deferens. After being joined by the duct of the seminal vesicles, the vas becomes the ejaculatory duct, which enters the prostate, where it joins with the urethra to convey the sperm, contained in semen, to the penis.
While the female genital system starts with the ovary.
Inside the ovary are hundreds of thousands of follicles. Each follicle is a hollow ball of cells with an immature egg in the center. The typical 28-day menstrual cycle begins on the first day of menstrual bleeding. During the first 7 days of the cycle, a few follicles begin to grow at the same time. These maturing follicles secrete estrogen hormone into the bloodstream to prepare the lining of the uterus for pregnancy. Around day 7, all of the follicles stop growing and begin to degenerate, except for one. This dominant follicle continues to grow and nourishes the developing egg inside it. Around day 12, the follicle secretes a large amount of estrogen into the bloodstream. When the estrogen reaches the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland in the brain, the anterior or front part of the pituitary gland releases a huge surge of luteinizing hormone into the bloodstream. Around day 14, luteinizing hormone causes the follicle to undergo a sudden growth spurt. Right before ovulation, the egg detaches from the inside of the follicle. The bulging follicle releases chemicals, causing one of the two fallopian tubes to move in closer and surround the follicle. The follicle swells until it bursts open, ejecting the egg and fluid from the follicle into the abdominal cavity. In response, the fimbriae, tiny projections at the end of the fallopian tube, sweep across the ovulation site and pick up the egg. Microscopic cilia on the fimbriae's surface transport the egg to the entrance of the fallopian tube. Inside the walls of the fallopian tube, muscular contractions gently push the egg towards the uterus. After ovulation, the egg lives for 12 to 24 hours, so it must be fertilized by a sperm from the male during this time for a woman to become pregnant. If it's not fertilized, the egg dissolves away and is shed along with the uterine lining during menstruation.
Deep inside the woman, in her ovaries, one egg develops each month. From the man's testes, through his penis, millions of sperm enter the woman's vagina. Here, they begin their travel toward the egg. Only one sperm can enter the egg. When one does, fertilization occurs. Genetic material from the male and from the female combine to create the first cell of an offspring. The fertilized egg migrates to the uterus, where it develops into a fully formed fetus over a period of about 40 weeks. Then, a baby is born.